In the top stories, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew calls on youth to lead in climate change fight at pre-COP29 forum. Criminal gangs intensify attacks in Haiti, and Russian president labels allegations of contact with Trump, quote, nonsense. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Friday, October 25th, 2024. I'm Scotty C. Hendrickson. Nationally, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, urged the nation's youth to take an active role in the fight against climate change during the pre-COP29 Youth Forum on Wednesday at the Royal St. Kitts Hotel. Addressing primary and secondary students, Dr. Drew highlighted the severe impact of climate change on small island states like St. Kitts and Nevis and called on the youth to advocate for climate justice. He encouraged young people to use creative outlets such as painting, poetry, and public speaking to raise awareness and push for responsible global action on climate change. Dr. Drew also introduced the government's goal of transforming St. Kitts and Nevis into a sustainable island state by 2035. He explained that the Sustainable Island State Agenda, or SISA, built on 7 key pillars, including green energy transition and economic diversification, is designed to ensure the next generation inherits a resilient, thriving nation. The forum engaged the nation's youth in the global climate change conversation as part of the government's ongoing efforts to build local resilience. The St. Kitts Electricity Company Limited has published a specific procurement notice and request for proposals inviting consultants to support the expansion of the Needmas power plant. This project, supported by the Saudi Fund for Development, aims to strengthen St. Kitts and Nevis's energy infrastructure with a 18-megawatt hybrid power plant facility designed to meet increasing energy demands reliably. The 26-month project will require consultancy services for engineering, tendering, and comprehensive project management, encompassing engineering studies for a battery energy storage system and essential electrical upgrades. Interested parties are invited to submit proposals by the December 16, 2024 deadline. Interested individuals are urged to visit Skelleg's website for full project details or email the Project Implementation Unit at piu-hybridpowerplant@skelleg.kn. A delegation from the Nevis Island Administration's Water Resources Management Unit is currently participating in the 33rd Annual Conference and Exhibition of the Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association held in Trinidad and Tobago. The group, led by Honorable Spencer Brand, Minister responsible for water resources, joins water, wastewater, and solid waste professionals from both the public and private sectors across the region. The Nevis delegation includes Sontania Mills, Water Department Manager, Floyd Robinson, Nevis Water Resources Management Unit Manager, Mikhail Isaac, Assistant Water Engineer, Deandra Batiste, Assistant Water Engineer, and Kurt Catty, Inspector of Works. During the conference, Minister Brand participated in the 20th High-Level Forum for Caribbean Ministers responsible for water and wastewater. On October 22nd, he signed the Declaration of Caribbean Ministers with Responsibility for Water and Wastewater of Port of Spain 2024 alongside ministers from across the region. He committed the NIA to advancing integrated water resources management, contributing to a climate-resilient, water-secure Caribbean. The declaration emphasizes the importance of sustainable water and wastewater management, outlining key priorities for actions such as disaster risk financing, climate financing access, and reducing non-revenue water. It also highlights the need for strengthened regional cooperation and knowledge sharing. In regional news, Maria Isabel Salvador, the head of the United Nations Integrated Office in Haiti, has raised alarms about the escalating activities of criminal gangs in the country, particularly in areas they have yet to seize control of. Addressing the United Nations Security Council, she noted a significant increase in violence over the past week in and around the capital, its suburbs, and agricultural regions. Residents have been facing extended sieges and are urgently seeking additional security support. Salvador emphasized that the overall situation in Haiti has, quote, unfortunately deteriorated, end quote. She told the council that the violence is, quote, spreading terror and fear, overwhelming the national security apparatus, end quote, and that the Kenyan-led multinational security super mission remains, quote, seriously understaffed, which could affect its deployment and prevent it from carrying out its duties, end quote. In other regional news, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank announced during its 109th Monetary Council meeting that redesigned currency notes featuring new imagery could begin circulating by 2027. Under the agenda item, quote, change of Queen's image on Eastern Caribbean currency, end quote, the meeting's communique revealed that the revamped 100 EC dollar banknotes is expected to be released by late 2027, followed by the $5, $10, $20, and $50 notes as existing stocks are used up. The redesigned banknotes will showcase dual portraits of distinguished nationals from the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, with a total of 10 prominent regional figures featured across all denominations. This move marks a significant departure from decades of tradition, as the late Queen Elizabeth's portrait has long adorned ECCB-issued notes and coins. Now for international news. Vladimir Putin held a press conference with journalists as the 16th Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa summit in the western Russian city of Kazan ended. NBC's correspondent sought a comment from the Russian president on allegations of ties with Trump. In WAZ, which was published earlier this month in the U.S., veteran journalist Bob Woodward, citing one of Trump's former aides, reports that Trump and Putin spoke at least 7 times since the term of the now Republican nominee ended. Quote, there were no contacts back then, and there are none now, the 72-year-old head of state said, most probably alluding to accusations of Russian interference in the upcoming polls. Putin also cast aside. Quote, at one time we were accused of this, and Trump himself of being somehow connected with Russia. Then, because of an investigation in the United States itself, everyone concluded, including in Congress, as far as I know, that this was complete nonsense, that nothing of the kind had ever happened, end quote. In other international news, polls show a state that gave Joe Biden one of his most dramatic wins in 2020 is now neck and neck. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris held a star-studded rally in the swing state of Georgia on Thursday, bringing with her former President Barack Obama to argue that another Trump presidency is more dangerous than many voters realize. Harris hopes to win over the state's black voters, among whom polls have shown she may be losing some support with men. And now for the weather. Presently, it's fair with dust haze. The temperature today is 30 degrees Celsius or 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are east at 8 to 16 miles per hour with lighter spells overnight. Seas are 1.2 to 1.5 meters or 4 to 5 feet. Weather forecast for today predicts partly cloudy with a 40% or moderate chance of brief showers. Tonight will also be partly cloudy, but with a 20% or slight chance of brief showers. Sunset today will be at 5:43 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:07 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Scotty Sia Hendrickson.